Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Monoloco, it is the XXX hot sauce. Now, this is not normally something I would actually get. Crazy monkeys. Scotch bonnet, cayenne, jalapeno, rocoto, ghost, and a hint of ancient music. Sure. It says yellow pepper, which is so random. Like, what does that mean? Under the supervision of an adult, when you're saying... Too much, man. It's too much. Okay, so... like I said, I would not normally get a sauce like this. And this was actually sent to me by mistake. I had ordered something else and they sent this. So I got it refunded and I thought, well, it doesn't have anything that is prohibitive. There's no onions in it. So I said, well, I'll try it out rather than let it go to waste. But probably I'm going to give this away. I'm not enjoying this sauce like at all. This is not a sauce for me. So we have cayenne, Scotch bonnet, rocoto, Peruvian ají, jalapeno, ghost. Then we have water, lemon, soybean oil, garlic, salt and spices, oregano, and curry. And potassium sorbate as a preservative. Now, you don't see a lot of Indian food on either the blog or the FOH video series, and that is because I don't find it enjoyable as a rule. I've tried it many times because I always get somebody that says, well, you just haven't had the right stuff. You just haven't had this. You just haven't had that. I have, in fact, had most of those things. I've had it at a number of different restaurants. I made tandoori chicken myself, which I thought was pretty good, but that was very tailored as well. I like naan, but that's just bread. So not much that can go wrong there. So I think I've had almost every type of curry that exists. And this one reminds me a lot of that sort of golden curry, which I don't love either. I just like curry is not a thing I like. So I would not probably have, well, I can say definitely, I almost certainly would not have ordered this in my own volition. So that is why I just did a mini review of it. I don't want to do a full review because I don't think that's fair. Because I'm predisposed to dislike this. And if I review it as an actual, like, it's just going to get a really low rating because so much of whether or not you enjoy this is going to be dependent on what your position is on curry. And if you're not a fan of curry, like I am not particularly, then obviously since it plays, it's at the very last, but a little goes a long way with that shit. And if you don't like, it's very forward, way more forward than I would wish in the flavor. So you can see we have this sort of sand, light tannish colored look to it. I can smell the curry from here actually as I'm doing this. There's some black bits which are either black pepper or maybe they flame roasted some of the pods. I mean, texture wise it's not bad. I don't really love this color, but and I think maybe the color is why it is calling to my mind the golden curry. Maybe not, I don't know. But I mean, the sauce itself looks okay. But then we get to the flavor, which we'll do right now. Ah, Jesus. The texture itself is very pulpy, almost like a gravy, actually. No small wonder why I'm thinking that. And so here's the thing, right? Most of the time, I don't want to have Indian food because they really like to use onions. And there's no point in me attempting to eat a cuisine that is going to make me sick, that I know going in is going to make me ill. Why? Why would I do that? Even in isolation, however, I don't really enjoy curry. And I made it myself. I've had other people make it without onions and so on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just not for me. But, you know, you never really know until you get in how much is going to be there and so on and so forth. So to me, it's fine. I don't mind trying this and seeing. I'll probably wind up using a fifth of the bottle. And I've agitated this multiple times, and it's just has never really gotten away from. If you don't like curry, you won't like this sauce. So I've got a freshly grilled pork chop, which I'm going to use this, which is probably will be the final time, and just see if it gets any better from here. And it's just my usual salt, pepper, pork chop. Cut the rim off. We'll have that later. You know, if the curry wasn't there, it'd probably be a pretty decent sauce. And it's not the first time a sauce has been ruined by a single component for me. And as long as I continue doing this, I'm sure it also won't be the last. That pork chop is really good. That part I just had there with the Maillard effect, the sort of ring. Beautiful. Man. It's almost a shame that I put this on here. Oh well. Yeah, even as dialing down the curry to a degree. Not enough. Not enough. Yeah, this is just not a sauce I'm ever going to like. You know, and continuing to try to eat that type of food is just me forcing myself to pretend that there's a chance I'm going to like it. I've had it enough times, you know, and I say that all the time. We keep an open mind, which is why I'm doing this at all. We have a spirit of adventurism. We try new stuff all the time. Sometimes I'm surprised and my expectations are wrong. That's why I keep keeping an open mind with this. But it just, I can't dance to the curry. Like, cumin is another one. Cumin, I don't like in high concentrations. I don't mind it there as long as it's part of a greater whole, but I don't want to just have a whole bunch, like just have it be overpowering. So a little cumin goes a long way with me. The floral nature of certain beers, I generally have a lot less interest in now. Definitely in terms of the scorpion pepper and fatali too, to a degree, they are too floral for me. I don't like that. And I think people are creative enough with scorpions, and it can be used very judiciously. in the right hands. And then, and that was what everybody was always saying about this type of stuff, curry. Well, in the right hands. Well, I've had it in so many hands that the odds are pretty good by this point. One of those had to have been the correct ones. And I know millions of people enjoy that kind of thing. It's not the first time I've gone against the grain of the masses. It won't be the last. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that I very much intensely dislike that flavor. And to me, it ruins what otherwise is an okay sauce. As far as heat, very low. I don't know why they tried to say, put this weird warning on here. Like, I'm kind of baffled by that. This is not what I would say is a particularly challenging sauce for literally anyone. It might be too hot for some people. Possibly. I mean, that all depends on tolerance, right? But to me, there's not enough punch, even slightly. And I really love Scotch bonnets, but I feel like in a lot of times that pepper and cayenne as well get kind of abused because they cayenne not as much, but Scotch bonnet, you've got a really beautiful, wonderful tasting pepper, and a lot of sauce makers just seem really not content to let it breathe. I would say that is definitely the case here. And they've got ghosties in there as well. Ghosties, to me, are another, pretty good flavored pepper. I think the mistake was curry, because curry tends to, even as it is here, nearly the very last ingredient, just tends to overpower stuff. And if you're, like I said, if you like curry, then that's probably less of an issue for you. But if you don't like curry, like I don't, then there's just not any getting away from it. I do think the balance is better here. It's not like it's overweight. It isn't like that golden curry gravy, for instance. It's not like that. It's not just a straight across, here's your curry sauce. It is somewhat more subtle than that, but it is still too present as far as I'm concerned. And that is, I guess, my prevailing impression of this sauce, and that is just where I'm going to leave this. So that was the Monoloco XXX hot sauce. Now go forward in peace to serve the flame.